Hey, it's Webs here, and it's time for a new mercenary build centered around a new mercenary. And honestly, I can't believe I'm saying this, but a Fel Dragon team. Because honestly, who expected dragons to actually have some Fel support in them, in the form of Wrathion, who for some reason, even though he was against the Burning Legion in World of Warcraft, his first and last ability are both Fel themed, which is kinda odd, and I don't know why. Maybe it's hinting at something in the future, who knows. And while I didn't get as much grinding as I wanted to out of the way for the 5 new mercenaries that were released on Tuesday, I did get Wrathion pretty well leveled up. He isn't at the max potential that he possibly could have. His equipment is only at level 1 and Tail Swipe is only at level 4, but you're not really using Tail Swipe in this build, which is why I'm actually doing this build in particular. If I was to do a shadow-based dragon team, I would have preferred to have Tail Swipe all the way leveled up, and I don't have Sinestra all the way leveled up either, which is the other reason why I decided to focus on Wrathion instead of any of the other new mercenaries, as he is the mercenary that I leveled up the most when it came to the new ones. The idea behind this build is to use Lord Jaraxxus as your way to scale up Fel damage with your Wrathion's Fel Rain ability. Through testing for this video and a previous video that I put out, I found out that Lord Jaraxxus is the most consistent way to actually scale up Fel damage without building the entire team around it. I know the team that I put out in the past where we scaled Fel damage 3 separate ways and didn't really have that big of a payoff also would work in a Wrathion centric build, but I didn't want to do the same build twice in the same month, so we're going to go down this route instead. This is a little bit weaker than that strategy, but it still demonstrates the potential that Wrathion has as a finisher for the Fel mercenary team. But unlike that build, this build is a little less glass cannony when it comes to actually using Wrathion, as you do have ways to buff up Wrathion even before he gets out on the board, and you also have Brightwing as a healer, same thing with Cornelius for the early game mercenaries that you actually put down, while also providing a way to actually speed up Wrathion once he turns into his dragon form in the form of Valeera. For the starting up lineup, you're going to use Cornelius, Brightwing, and Valeera as your 3 mercenaries. For Cornelius, you're going to use Shield of the Dawn so he can take more damage. Brightwing, you can either use Brightwing's necklace or pixie pouch, depending on if you want to make your back row have more HP as long as Brightwing actually survives for quite a while, or if you just want to make your front line survive for quite a bit of time. I prefer the pixie pouch over the necklace just because this should increase your survivability by quite a lot. And then Valeera, of course, is using Unnatural Smoke as her equipment to speed up all your other mercenaries while she's stealthed. And the nice thing about this build is, depending on how the ties actually work, you actually have 2 abilities that can actually make Valeera always gain stealth back, even if they kill Cornelius off very quickly through Fairy Breath or Cornelius's abilities too. And as mentioned in the intro, Lord Jaraxxus serves as our way to scale the Fel damage within this team. You mainly use him in here just because he can scale the Fel damage up, but if you do know that your Infernals aren't actually going to survive your opponent's AoE abilities, sometimes you actually want to use Legion Burst instead, or even Fist of Jaraxxus, depending on how much AoE is actually on your opponent's board. As seen in this clip behind me right now, we're using Fel Infernal when we really honestly shouldn't, just because of the fact that next turn my opponent is going to be able to deal with the Fel Infernal almost instantly, and it's also going to cost us our Lord Jaraxxus, even though we could have got some damage in with Lord Jaraxxus before he had died if we had changed our plan up. And while you can actually still win the game if you don't have Lord Jaraxxus with his Infernals, it makes it a little bit more difficult to actually do that, especially if your Valeera has already died. For the 5th mercenary that you're going to want to put down is the mercenary this team is actually based around, which is Wrathion, who has 2 Fel abilities that scale pretty quickly with your Lord Jaraxxus Infernals. You might be thinking, what's the second Fel ability? Well, the True Form ability turns into Fel Rain whenever you use it, and you usually don't actually care too much about the HP gain in matches. Depending if you actually have Infernals up or not, you're going to probably want to shotgun into True Form as quickly as possible, just so you can actually get access to Fel Rain, scale your Fel damage through, since Every point of fell damage actually increases this ability by 5 damage instead of just 1, which is actually quite insane even if you have 1 Infernal up, because with 1 Infernal it is 8 damage instead of 3 damage. And if by some miracle you actually manage to get Fell Rain off with 2 Infernals up, that's 13 damage instead of 3 damage per, which is actually insane and is quite powerful to actually pull off, and something that is actually really fun, even if it didn't matter in this clip behind me. And for the final mercenary in the team, it's Cookie. Cookie's in here just to increase your HP. There's not much to explain actually with him. So now that we're through explaining the build a bit, let's go find some games. Okay, let's start with the normal setup. Okay, so they're orcs. Holy orcs, okay. Well, let's try to kill that just because this will make this slower. This is annoying, but we don't really care that much. Especially if they target down Cornelius. We'll kill Grom first because, sure, if they have more holy things, this will get really annoying really quickly. But I don't honestly care if we can do something like this. Oh, that's an interesting new choice. I'm gonna do this. I'm assuming Uther is going to be the problem next. That's enough to actually kill it, so we're gonna heal. Do I want to... Yeah, we'll do that just in case. That kills Uther. We're gonna focus this down. Random shots. That's actually not good for us, especially if it managed to hit the... Okay, so it doesn't. That's actually pretty good. We're going to use Fist of Jaraxxus next, especially because that's green. I think Valeera is going to hit Zyrilla no matter what. And that is a perfect hand. Okay, now we get Wrathion down. And we can heal. So this turn we'll heal. That's 16 damage, isn't it? Yeah, we're just going to heal true form. Do nothing. Okay, so they're gonna try to kill Wrathion. Okay, that's fine. Now we get to do our big boy play. Yeah, we'll do it like this because I don't want to kill our Infernals. Though both of our Infernals are going to die here. We still do get a good chunk of damage, which is pretty good. And actually, we might win the game just here. Man, that's a lot of damage. Okay, so they're mainly clusters. Please don't tell me this is fire. Fire is not a fun matchup for this build. Oh, arcane. Not what I expected. I'm gonna try to Tyrande down. Actually, let's just get Millhouse dead. Because this is going to slam into Millhouse no matter what anyway, so we might as well. Did not expect to see arcane. We're gonna do that, we're gonna heal, then we're gonna use that. I have a feeling Brightwing is not gonna live for much longer, but that's okay. I would have preferred to be able to get Tyrande down next, but I don't think that's going to be possible. We're going to probably heal, attack with this. Okay, that doesn't put it lower. I would love to hit this next. Anything but the Cornelius would be great. I'm going to put the taunt back up. Okay, so we do get the Cornelius down. We're gonna miss Brightwing, but it's fine. We're gonna put Jaraxxus down next. It's interesting that you can't actually heal the Infernals with Cornelius, but it is what it is. They have a lot of AoE, so... split it, I guess. I actually probably should have just focused down Anduin completely. I can't do that much healing to make it heal for more damage than I can do next turn, right? Okay, so we will do this. We'll heal. We'll do that. This should slam into that before it even gets to attack. And then the next thing that will die will be Tyrande. I don't care about Karen being alive still. Though, it's kind of odd that they're not... Oh, I guess they don't have the nature equipment. Zyrilla is their final. We're gonna do that, heal that. Okay, so Wrathion's going down now. Do that. True form. Sinister Strike. It's interesting that they're using Earth Stomp, even though they're not using the Earth equipment for this. The good news is they can't AoE the Infernals, and we're going to have 3 of them up. We're just going to let the turn go like this. And now we get to do a shit ton of damage. Man, that's so powerful. Interesting, mostly fighters, which might make this a little bit annoying. I'm thinking it's probably going to be Orc given the matchup. Because Gul'dan makes sense if you're going to use it as your only caster here. Also depends if there's a cookie, but there isn't, so it is just Orcs. This matchup is always a tricky one for me. Let's try to get Samuro dead first. While Growlum is annoying, Samuro is always the bane of my existence. Oh, perfect. Put it in lethal range. So, I'm gonna heal, I guess heal, and then do that. Now we just need to kill... I wonder if they have Garrosh or Thrall as their last protector. We'll kill Gromosh next. Actually, yeah, we kind of have to focus it down. This should put... Yeah, this should kill it unless they use Whirlwind. Oh, I guess Stagger and Slam would also work. Okay, so... Okay, that's why they're doing it like that. Well, we're going to put Jaraxxus down. I hate that we're keeping an AoE alive. We're going to try to heal. We're going to use that. And then we're going to take a 50-50 shot of it hitting Saurfang. So they're going to focus down Jaraxxus. I'm fine with them doing that, to be honest. Gives us the opportunity to just actually do something. I'm assuming the last 2 mercs are going to be Rokara and Brawl. Maybe Garrosh. Interesting. The problem is we can't guarantee this hitting that. Let's just keep doing it like this. Yeah, there's no AoE or huge AoE that I need to worry about. Gonna focus down Jaraxxus, which is fine. To do this, we'll heal True Form, because this should protect these unless they single target the 2 Infernals down, which might actually be what they'll do. Okay, so we're gonna heal everything up. I'm a dragon. That. Okay, so they aren't gonna focus down the Infernals. That's actually a huge mistake. Okay, so we'll do it like this, and we'll just keep it stealthed. Because this should at least kill Gul'dan and get pretty damn close to killing these 2. So much damage. This is just ridiculous of like how high this scales. And they kill 1 Infernal, and now we just need to win the uphill battle of killing, I'm assuming, just Garrosh. Oh, it's Thrall. That's not what I expected. Okay, so do it like this. Might as well get into free damage. That's such a powerful turn play that it's so ridiculous that it exists. Oh, we just won with Cookie. Now, what do we go... Okay, so that's this startup. I'm still going to focus down this Amaro. I think this can get out of control way quicker than anything else. I know this is going to be able to snipe this, and so will this probably, depending on the order of operation. That's going to do no damage, but it's fine. Tried to do it like this. So they're probably going to hit this, yeah. Okay, so we're going to heal that. This again is going to snipe that, but it should be enough damage. I guess depending on if this hits first or this hits first, Valeera might be dead. Okay, so we're going to heal. They're going to do 20. We're going to restore more. And then we're going to hit. It's not a big enough hit. I'm going to do it like that. Heal more. Then let that hit into this. So bright. So this is 10. That puts it down. We'll heal. Actually, if we heal using this, yeah, it has enough HP to survive. And we're killing Cornelius. So Jaraxxus is down next. We're not going to attack with Valeera as much as I would like to. I'm going to try to get this down first. And then we're going to heal next turn too. So full heal. Okay, so we're at 44 damage. Need 18 damage to hit this. And as long as we get this off before the Infernal dies, we should be fine. And then this will slam a bunch into them. Okay, that's actually the perfect hit we wanted. And then next turn we're going to use the Infernal again. Well, maybe not actually. Because if we don't and we use this, if this hits that, I'm trying to think which is more greedy, to go like this or... So yeah, we'll do it like this. Then Valeera should be killed. Being a little bit greedy here, but I'd rather be a little bit greedy. Really wish they didn't hit what they hit. Because I doubt this is going to survive. But we can try. Oh, actually it did survive, so we would have been fine. Heal. That can actually hit. Because that's going to be such a huge hit. Well, we might actually be in a winning position. Yeah, especially if we activate True Form, we actually are probably going to win this match. Going to have to use True Form here. 69 HP, nice. And we win. Alright, now that we're through some games, let's discuss my final thoughts of the build. So overall, the build performed actually pretty well. It actually shocked me how well it actually performed. Most people aren't going to expect a Wrathion right behind Lord Jaraxxus, so they're just going to allow you to spam out as many Infernals as humanly possible until they face you a few times in ladder. Then they will catch on and actually try to kill your Infernals, which is kind of depressing, but you can still win the game without having multiple Infernals up at the same time. You only really need one, because that already increases the damage almost by 3 times the normal amount from Felrain. And while I do think this build is one of the stronger builds that I've actually put out for Mercenaries, and I'm actually quite proud of that, I do want to demonstrate the main weakness of the build though, however, and it should be easy to actually tell what this weakness is. The fellow Infernals only have 15 HP, so AoE damage can actually be quite detrimental, though you can still win even if your Infernals do die, as demonstrated in this clip behind me of an older version of the build that I actually was trying out early on. The fire build can actually stop this build pretty early if you do use Jaraxxus in your starting out lineup, which is the whole reason why Cornelius was added to the build and Anduin was actually taken out, was because of the fact that because of fire builds, I was too worried to actually put down Jaraxxus as early as possible into the match, and I felt like it was a better use of Jaraxxus to put him down 4th instead of in the starting up lineup. When I was testing out this variant of the build, I didn't actually run into any fire-based teams, which is kind of a shock given the fact that there are new fire-based mercenaries in this update, though I guess people don't have those fully leveled up yet, and that's the reason why I didn't run into them that much. It's definitely something to look out for in case the meta does actually shift up, and it's hard to actually recommend a new mercenary early on, as I know this mercenary will probably be really relevant in a Fel-based team in the future. I just don't know if this team in particular will be the variant that's actually going to make it out on top. Though it's a lot of fun to actually play this variant, and while not using every single Fel mercenary that you possibly could, this does have a lot more survivability than a pure Fel-based mercenary team, and because of that, I actually enjoyed my time playing the build. So if you have Wrathion unlocked and his final equipment, which you only need at level 1, I could honestly recommend you trying out this build. It's a really fun build to actually try out, and the fact that you can do over 100 damage in one turn between Jaraxxus and Wrathion is insane, and a lot of people are going to get caught off guard. And like always, if you enjoyed the video, please leave a like, comment, and subscribe. And until next time, bye bye.